Welcome back. Now, if you are a bloke and you want to prepare a very special meal for someone special, well, your wife or your girlfriend, potential girlfriend perhaps, my next guest has got some very handy hints and a simple recipe we can do at home. Ben Johnson joined us. Good morning, Ben.
Nice to meet you.
Well, you blokes out there want to cook for a loved one.
Yep.
What's the easiest and best?
Look, cook within your comfort zone. You know, that's the rule of thumb. So whether you're a good cook, whether you're a practice cook, or whether you couldn't care less about cooking, choose something that you're confident about, and it's going to show. It's going to be one of the favourites. Okay, you're going to do something for us this morning. What will that be? Well, I heard a little bird told me that you're not so mad on cooking. I don't love cooking, but I love eating. Well, this is a cocktail that virtually turns into a meal. We're making Bloody Mary prawns.
Oh, yeah. And I tell you, look at these prawns.
Are they gorgeous?
Spectacular. These are absolutely divine. Okay, where do we start?
We start, now, can you make a Bloody Mary?
Oh, yeah.
Then
now
you can do this.
I can do. Okay. And I don't even need a recipe.
What we're going to do is start with a couple of tomato paste sachets. I love these things. We can't get them back in the States yet.
Okay, because you're living in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
what do I do with this? Is this for the Bloody Mary?
Squeeze it. Yep.
Okay.
So basically, rip and squeeze. And this is 2 tablespoons, and that's perfect because most recipes really only call for a couple of tablespoons, and you end up opening a can or a jar.
Well, I know. How many cans of this stuff, or bottles of this stuff at home, do you have that has the lovely, attractive mould around
Oh, you know what? I call it Ivana Trump, because I put it in the fridge, forget about it for a month, and it comes out looking, it's got a little fur on it. And it's like
oh, boom tish.
Okay.
Okay, well, why don't you get on with the prawns? I can do this, trust me.
Well, I'm going to make 2 mixes, one for a dip and one for a marinade. Okay. So give us a dollop in each. I'm not watching. You can make them as strong as you like.
Oh, yeah.
A little Worcestershire.
Yep.
And some cracked pepper.
Yep. Okay.
And a spicy little bit of chili. We took the seeds out, but you know what? If you're cooking for someone and you think they can take a little heat, leave the seeds in.
I mean, in Los Angeles, where you've been living, do people actually cook over there? What do you continue along here?
I'm going to brush. I'm waiting for that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Am I being slow? In Los Angeles, do people cook in Los Angeles?
You know what? They don't eat.
Yeah.
Which makes it a slam dunk.
And they go to really expensive restaurants,
for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
they'll sit there raking the leaves around their plates. Which is, I think we've got enough heat here.
Okay.
And that's why if we've got, if you can cook for someone, especially in an environment where they're not used to being, given good food, it's a slam dunk. Okay. And dating's a hard sport nowadays.
It is. And it doesn't matter whether you're 20, 30, 50 or 60, dating is a hard sport and there's more people out there. So if, especially guys, it's not necessarily natural for all blokes to bring someone home. Yep. This is actually a good, easy.
This is a great one. And I think, anything, I'm calling this my Pomme d'Amour World Tour because I'm going to like Sydney, Melbourne and Hollywood. Lego's brought me out. I'm doing the tomato paste tour, but it's just one of those great things to have. Tomatoes were called the Pomme d'Amour because it was back when you were courting someone but you couldn't necessarily get into them. They used to give a perfect tomato as a gift of passion.
Really?
It's very voluptuous. I think of it as the Sophia Loren of fruits.
What happens if you give 2?
Even better. But,
so more importantly, let's
what are we doing?
Okay. You're just basting all this.
Yeah, and the good thing about prawns as a dating meal is it's light, it's sexy, it's bright. All the adjectives you'd want your partner to describe you as. Okay. That's what.
But you've got to make sure they're not allergic to
that's
seafood,
rule number 1.
Okay.
Always ask.
Because we're going to get to some of your dating tips in just a moment.
And one of them, the first one is definitely, what can't you eat or won't you eat? Okay.
And even if you do love or not love chili. Okay, we'll be back in just a moment. Here's Roz with another idea for the kitchen. Ben Johnson with us, and we're talking about cooking for a loved one at home, Bloody Mary prawns. Now, what we did, you had fabulous prawns. We made up. I'll give you this on our our number in just a second. What we had was the sauce. We had the chili. We had the Worcester. You painted it all over, whacked it in there.
Bit of a daub, grill it up, 2 minutes each side, and then for this date, I mean, one of the things I say when you're cooking for someone is, serve big, eat light. So have a lot of food, make it feel abundant, but just serve small portions because you never know.
And also, we were talking about some of those dating tips because so many people these days actually is nothing more personal if you're trying to impress someone than to have them at home, but you may not feel confident in the kitchen. So what are some of the other tips? Make sure you know whether they're allergic to anything.
And the other thing is, I never like anyone to see me cooking for more than 10 minutes. You've always go to those dinner parties where the only thing you see is the host's back. So have it done up to the last 10 minutes, kind of like we just did, and get them in the kitchen with you because that's a great way to get into someone's personal space. Okay. Without being too intimate.
Okay, have a look at our number if you want this little recipe up there. Of course, you've always got to enjoy a drink, and that's delightful.
Oh, absolutely.
And Los Angeles, as you say, nobody really eats over there. What's this in here?
That is a little dessert I was going to make just to go with this. Another light dessert. It was just we stewed some apples. I've got one right down here.
Oh, let's have a look
Plate
at that.
that up. Oh yeah. These are
yum.
and look, this is very dramatic, and I think that's another important ingredient. You eat with your eyes first.
I love it. 1902-211-911. We've got this recipe. No, we don't have the recipe up there. Okay, go to our website and you'll be able to get it.
Or go to Legos. We'll have that up on their site as well.
Okay, Ben Johnson, thank you very much for your time this morning.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
You look after yourself. We've got more coming up after the break. A prize on the golf wheel at 10:15. Advice on managing your money. Get a year off, which sounds good. And Dr. Ark has outdone himself with some very unusual pets to show us.